Since we don't have lines for tomorrow's games yet, it's too early. Let's just go Moneyline. All right. Let's start with the Atlantic 10 Conference. VCU, Davidson. Davidson's at home. VCU's kind of a mess on the road, but they are the better team. I bet you Davidson will be favored by maybe 2. I take the Rams, but I wouldn't bet this game. But if I were to pick a side, I'd lean Rams, VCU. Fordham, Duquesne. At Duquesne. Duquesne's pretty good at home. Take Duquesne. Take the Dukes. They'll beat Fordham. They'll probably be a short favorite. Lay it. Lay the points. I probably, if it's a short line, 3 or 4, I'll probably bet that game. $5. George Mason, Rhode Island. Rhode Island is coached by the former guy that was at Dayton. What's his name? I'd know him by looking at him. But I go George Mason here. They're better. I mean, 14-5. You can't argue with that. It will be close, though. I don't know if I would. I'd probably stay away from that one. It's going to be tight. If Rhode Island's favored, I'd probably take George Mason, but I don't know. Moneyline, I go George Mason here. Dayton, Richmond. This is a prime upset spot for Richmond here at home. They're undefeated, but Dayton is they're way better than anybody in this league. I mean, they shouldn't even be in this league. They should honestly consider moving to the Big East. I could see an upset happening here. If Dayton is a big favorite, like say 8 or more, I'd take the points there. I'd take Richmond. I think Richmond's going to keep it tight. But I do think Dayton wins the game, but only by maybe 3. LaSalle, George Washington. Take George Washington. I like LaSalle's coach. Uncle Scrooge is what I call him. But take the Revolutionaries here at home. St. Louis, UMass. Frank the Tank coaching UMass. St. Louis has kind of fallen apart ever since the injury to one of their best players. Take UMass to win the game. All right, let's move on. ACC. Notre Dame is garbage, but they're at home here. Boston College. I think I could see Boston College coming in and winning this game, but don't stay away from this game. This is such a nightmare to watch. Two teams that are not very. You're asking two teams that are not very good at basketball to do good things for you. Don't bet it. Stay away. Louisville, Virginia. Louisville's a disaster. Chattanooga was up by 20 when they went there. I mean, Louisville is just horrendous. Take Virginia and whatever number they give you. Even though Virginia's down this year. North Carolina, Florida State. Florida State's fraudulent. They're 6-2. I hate to say it. Respectfully, they're fraudulent. North Carolina all day. They're 6-2. That is such a joke, the fact that they're 6-2. Have you seen who Florida State played non-league? Look at this. They lost by 21 to Florida. They lost to Georgia, who's very average. I mean, they got stomped by UNC. They lost to South Florida by 16 at home. They lost to SMU. They lost to Lipscomb. What are we doing here? ACC's not very good if Florida State's at the top. Miami, Pittsburgh. Miami, I feel like they're going through the motions. I don't know what to do here. This is kind of a game you kind of stay away from because both teams are inconsistent. Pittsburgh did just beat Duke. I'd probably lean Pittsburgh here. If Miami's a short favorite tomorrow, I'd probably take Pitt. I mean, they won at Duke. That's pretty good. Duke, Clemson. Probably lean Duke here. Short number. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. I think Virginia Tech's a better team. They'll probably be favored as well. Take Virginia Tech. NC State, Syracuse. I'm going to go with the road Wolfpack. NC State. All right, let's move on to the next conference here. I'm going to stay out of the A-Sun. American East. I think there's a couple big ones in here. Albany and New Hampshire. Don't bet this game. New Hampshire wins. Binghamton, Maine. Don't bet this game. But I think Maine wins the game. Vermont and Bryant. Vermont here. This is something you need to know if you're into college basketball. Vermont doesn't lose games in conference. It's just simple as that. So bet them every single game. Take Vermont. UMBC, New Jersey Institute of Technology, the smart kids. I'd lean Golden Retrievers here, but stay away from that game. American Conference. Charlotte, Tulane. Tulane's pretty good at home. If Charlotte's getting some points, probably take Tulane. I'm curious to see what this number is going to be. If Tulane is underdog, I take Tulane. But I don't know. This is a coin flip game to me. Charlotte's playing well, but I kind of like this Tulane team. I'd almost take Tulane in the upset. South Florida, UTSA. South Florida is actually playing really well right now. Take the Bulls at home. Rice and Tulsa. Stay away from this. This is a terrible game, but I'd probably just lean with the home team there, Rice. I mean, that's a bad game. Big 12, the best basketball conference in the country. Houston, Kansas State. Houston's a machine at home. Houston all day. Sorry, Kevman. I think you understand. Kansas, Iowa State. I don't know what it is, but Iowa State always pulls off upsets at home, especially against Kansas. So it wouldn't shock me one bit if Iowa State upset Kansas tomorrow. If they might even be favored. If they're favored, I don't know what you do there. But if they are like +3, definitely ride with the Cyclones there. They are really tough at home. Oklahoma, Texas Tech. I don't know what it is. I think Oklahoma is kind of suspect. They're number 11 in the country, but I think they're suspect. I'm going to go Texas Tech. Coming in, road, dogs. They'll pull it off. A little Moneyline sprinkle. What up, Quana? How you doing today? Yeah, we vibing, man. We're vibing. Jay Con, I'm going to create a 20. Texas, BYU. BYU's tough at home, but I'm starting to worry how their heads are because they're not used to this. They're used to smaller conferences where there's only really Gonzaga, St. Mary's that you got to get up for. Sometimes San Francisco. Now they're in the Big 12 where every week is a grind, and I feel like it's kind of a shock to them a little bit. They're a great team. They're a phenomenal team. I think they'd win probably 30 other conferences. But, a 20-leg parlay for this? Hell yeah. Just make sure it's a small sprinkle. Because, with parlays, I always say, low risk, high reward, baby. BYU, Texas. I don't know if I'd bet this, chat, but I will say this. I don't got a money line for you here. I would probably lean BYU because they're at home. But this is going to be a tight game. We're talking within 3. I think the best play on this game right here, take one of those, what is it, the 12-way bets that you can make, where you can pick a side. You could do either team wins by 1 to 5 points. Do it. Lay that. Pick an either side to win by 1 to 5 points. I think that's the smart bet here. You'd probably get positive odds. I think that's what you do there. But I'd probably lean BYU on the win. Oklahoma State, Virginia, West Virginia, 2 teams struggling in the Big 12. I think this might be the spot where Oklahoma State finally gets a win in league, but I do think West Virginia is the better team. I'd stay away from that one. I'd probably I'd look at the line on that game instead of the money line. Baylor, TCU. I'd probably lean Baylor at home. This is going to be a tight game. This is a rivalry. Rivalries, you probably don't want to bet rivalries typically because anything can happen. But I'd lean Baylor. USF, Cincinnati. I'd take Cincinnati at home. I think they're a little bit better than UCF. UCF does have a 7'4" beast down low, though. And that creates matchup problems. But I think I'd lean Cincy at home. Let's go Big East, one of my favorite conferences. Georgetown, Providence. Providence is going downhill. So this is the Ed Cooley Bowl. This game here. Ed Cooley coached Providence last year. Now he's at Georgetown. I feel like he's going to really try to beat Providence here. So if Georgetown is like +6 or something, I'd probably take the +6 when that line comes out. But I think Providence is the better team, and they're pretty tough at home. But they are kind of falling downhill. I'd probably stay away from this game, but if I had to pick, I'd probably go Providence. Butler, Villanova. Butler loves beating Villanova at home, taking the Bulldogs. But you might look at the line here instead of Moneyline. That might be a better value because Butler might be getting points, as an underdog here. That might be better value for you. Seton Hall, Marquette. Seton Hall's on fire right now. Marquette is just kind of going through the motions. But Marquette's far more talented, and they're at home. So I think they win in a close one. DePaul just fired their coach. And Creighton is kind of a live or die by the 3 type of team. Those are dangerous to gamble on. But they are far superior to DePaul, so they will win in a landslide. I would say -15. Big Sky. Conference you don't want to bet, typically. Shenanigans happen. Portland State, coming off a huge, dominating win over Montana last night. I wouldn't do the money line here. I'd probably take Portland State in the positive odds. If they're like +5 or under, take it. I wouldn't do a money line here. But if I were to pick a winner, that's really a coin flip, really. We got shenanigans happening.
Being here for you guys.
Yeah. ESPN trying to get in on the stream. I'd probably... Bobcats are better, but Portland State at home, that's a tough one. I'm just staying away from that one. Idaho is terrible. Northern Colorado all day. Northern Arizona, Eastern Washington. This is Eastern Washington by 50. Montana, Sacramento State. I mean, where's Montana's heads after getting spanked by Portland State? I don't know. They are the better team, though. I'd probably lean Grizzlies. Weber State's way better than Idaho State, so go there. But be careful with these small conferences because there are a little more variables happen.
I'm glad you kicked me.
Stop it! Stop it! Freaking ESPN trying to get in on the stream here. All right, High Point Winthrop, probably one of the better games tomorrow, honestly. Here's something to note. High Point is a wagon in terms of betting against the spread and the overs. They're 17-4, one of the better small schools in the country, and they are a wagon for betting overs. So you might look at the total here, but I don't know. Moneyline this game, you got to keep riding with High Point, I think. But tough one. Maybe don't bet this one. It's not a lock by any means. But High Point, I think I like them to win the game. Here's a mini lock. Gardner-Webb is way better than Upstate. I've seen Gardner-Webb in person this year. They're not bad. They're feisty. Radford and Presbyterian. I'd probably lean Radford here. UNC Asheville. Charleston Southern. Asheville's way better. They got Drew Pember on the team. Future pro. Big Ten. Maryland, Nebraska. Flip a coin. Stay away from this game. I'd probably lean Maryland because they're at home, but Nebraska's a better team. Illinois, Indiana. Illinois is a totally different animal at home. Indiana, I'm not really sure what their plans are for the season. It seems like they had high expectations, and now I don't really know. They're kind of going through the motions. I go in Illinois here. They did get their player back that just got suspended for a few games, so keep that in mind. Michigan, Iowa. I don't know if Michigan cares anymore. So this is not a lock by any means, but I'd probably lean Iowa even though they're not at home. I just don't think Michigan cares anymore. I think they've given up. But stay away from that game. Penn State, Minnesota. Penn State, it's not very good. Go Minnesota here, even though they're on the road. But keep in mind, road teams rarely win in the Big Ten. Just throwing it out there. So if Minnesota's like getting positive points here, you might lay that. Get the points. They're like +5 especially or more. Ohio State, Northwestern. Kind of weird that these teams have flipped Big Ten records, but I'd probably lean Northwestern, but they're a very weird team. They beat the good teams, they lose the bad teams. So I'd lean Northwestern though. Not a lock. Long Beach State, Riverside. Long Beach State, baby. All day. This is interesting. I didn't know San Diego was 7-1. I would lean UC Davis, though. UC Davis has been pretty good the past few years. This conference has a lot of variability in it, though, so keep that in mind. It's not a conference I typically bet, just because of that. UC Irvine, usually a decent team to back. And what's the other team that's pretty good in this league this year? Santa Barbara, pretty good team to back. I take UC Irvine here, though, at home. I do think that'll happen. This game's a coin flip. I actually think Bakersfield's a better team, but I don't know. Don't stay away from that. Cal Poly, Hawaii. Hawaii, especially at home. That'll be a rout. The Colonial Conference. Hofstra, Monmouth. Hofstra, I don't understand what their deal is this year. They're 11-9. They're a lot better than that. So at some point they got to start winning, right? So I would kind of lean Hofstra here, but not a lock. Wilmington, I love Wilmington. Great team. I'd go Wilmington here. William and Mary, Northeastern. I go Northeastern at home. Towson, Delaware. Go Towson. Even though they're on the road, I think they're better. Drexel, there's a lock. Drexel will hammer A&T. They should hammer them. Hampton, Elon, stay away from this. This is an eyesore of a game. It might hurt your brain if you watch that game. Stay away from that. But maybe Hampton gets their first win. I don't know. Charleston, Campbell. Charleston's starting to heat up a little bit. They are on the road here, but I think they win the game in a tight one. CUSA. There's so many damn games tomorrow. It's like 150. Minnesota. New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech. Saw Louisiana Tech play Liberty. They're pretty good. I lean Louisiana Tech here. Liberty is a lot better than Jacksonville State, but this is kind of a scary spot. Not a lock, but I'd take Liberty. Sam Houston, I think squeaks by UTEP. Mini rivalry. Middle Tennessee State versus the Airport. I'd probably go Blue Raiders, though, but this is a disgusting game. I'd probably stay away from it. Horizon. Detroit Mercy, the team that has not won a game yet, versus Green Bay. Well, I mean, you can't take a team that hasn't won a game, right? So Green Bay, lock. Oakland, Milwaukee. Oakland's better. But Milwaukee's tough at home. I'd still lean Grizzlies. I wouldn't bet that. Nothing very independent. Let's go Ivy League. Princeton's not playing tomorrow? Oh, they are playing. Princeton. Ooh, the undefeated matchup versus Cornell. I think Princeton is a little out of their league. Like, they're better than everybody in this league, so I'd probably bet them every single game, Moneyline, honestly. They might lose one game, and this would probably be the spot to do it. But I still feel like you need to pick Princeton every single time. They're far superior to their league opponents. Columbia, Penn, I'd probably go Columbia to get their first win, but I'd do some more research on that game. I don't know those teams very well this year. Yale, Harvard, the old rivalry. Yale's better, but this is a rivalry. It's a coin flip, so I'd stay away from it. Yale is a better team. Brown, Dartmouth. Oh, jeez. I think Dartmouth's pretty bad. I'd probably lean Brown, but stay away from that. Mac. We only got Ryder and Mount St. Mary's. I'd probably take the home team there, but stay away from that league. That league is not a profitable league. Unless you watch it every day. Alright, what do we got here? The Northeast Conference, the worst conference in basketball. Central Connecticut will probably squeak by Wagner. But stay away from every single game in this league, please. Lemoyne and Long Island. Probably go with the Fighting Dolphins at Lemoyne. But Rob Strickland coaches Long Island, so don't be surprised if he gets them rolling next year. Fair Dick. The Fairleigh Dick. They are at home against Sacred Heart. I'd probably roll with Fair Dick. Merrimack and St. Francis, PA. I'd probably go with Merrimack. They're better, but stay away from this league. Like I said, it is a mess. All right, here we go. Now we got a good league here. The Missouri Valley Conference is the best mid-major conference in basketball, besides the Mountain West. Murray State, Southern Illinois. I've always loved Murray State. They're pretty good at home. This is a coin flips. If you get Murray State with like +3, +5, maybe something like that, take it. But I wouldn't bet a money line on this game. Southern Illinois is better, but I can see Murray upsetting them here. I wouldn't do a money line there. Belmont will beat UIC. They will hammer them at home. That's a lock. Evansville, Illinois State. Evansville's falling down the toilet. I'm going to go Redbirds, Illinois State. Not a lock, but I would pick it. Valpo, Missouri State. Valpo used to be a really good tournament team. They made Sweet 16 a couple times on a buzzer beater. But Missouri State is better this year. They just beat Drake, so I do worry that maybe letdown spot here, but I think Missouri State is better. I'd stay away from that though. This is a huge game right here. Both these games down here, these are big games. This is a rivalry right here. Bradley, Indiana State. Indiana State, I've been betting it all year. They're really good. Bradley's not very good on the road. They are a great team though. I could see both these teams making postseason. Indiana State in the tourney, Bradley, NIT. I think we go with the Sycamores here, Indiana State though. I wouldn't money line it though. I'd probably do a spread. Let's see what the spread looks like. Drake, Northern Iowa. I think Drake is going to be pissed off because they just lost to Missouri State. I think they beat their rivals at home here, but not a lot because it's a rivalry. They are the best team in this league, though, by a small margin over Indiana State. Mountain West. Been a very interesting conference. You got 6 ranked teams at some point during the season. Utah State at Boise State. Very tough spot for Utah State. I could see Boise State winning this, even though Utah State is the better team. I wouldn't moneyline this at all. I would see if Boise State's maybe positive points and take that. This also would be a game where you look at that 12-way, where you pick either team to win by 1 to 5 points. It's probably a good play there. Those are good in basketball if you know it's going to be a tight game. You got nothing to lose. Wyoming will not beat Colorado State, but this is not a lock. Colorado State's really good. Fresno State, Air Force, kind of the dumpster fire game of this conference. Really the only 2 lousy teams in the league. I'd probably lean Fresno at home, but not a lock. UNLV will beat San Jose State, or at least they should. Also wouldn't bet that game. All right, we did the Northeast. Moving on here. OVC, don't know this conference super well, but I do know Morehead State is the best team, so I would take Morehead State here. Little Rock and SEMO, I'd probably lean Little Rock at home. Tennessee Tech, they hung tough with Chattanooga this year, but I'm not sure how they've been doing lately. So I'd probably lean Edwardsville here, but I wouldn't bet any of these games. This league's kind of, it's not great. Ever since Belmont and Murray State left this league is not as prestigious. I go UT Martin here though. Smallwood, there's two Wood teams in Division I basketball. You got Smallwood and Longwood. This is Smallwood, Lindenwood. Longwood's a little bit better. So you go fade the Smallwood here. Go UT Martin. Eastern Illinois, Tennessee State. Stay away from it, but I'd lean probably Eastern Illinois. They hung close with Kansas this year. Pac-12's been kind of a mess to bet. One thing I do know is Arizona, whenever they're ranked, doesn't do well in Eugene. Longwood's always better, right? Yeah, Arizona doesn't do well in Eugene for some reason. So I would take the Ducks. They might even be favored in this game. I don't know. But if they are plus anything, take it. Take it. I think the Ducks win here, but as far as the money line goes, I probably wouldn't parlay that game. But if you want to do a money line sprinkle, if the Ducks are positive odds, like plus 150 or something, I think it's a great value there. Oregon State did just beat Arizona at the buzzer. I don't know. Arizona State's kind of fishy on the road. Stay away from this game. It has fishy all over it. But I would probably lean Arizona State, I guess. Oregon State kind of emotional after the buzzer beater. I don't know. That one's tough. Washington State's at home. I'd probably take the Cougs over Colorado, even though they're not quite as good as Colorado is. But Colorado's a machine at home, and that's why their record's really good. UCLA, USC, two teams that probably wish their seasons have been going better. They are really struggling this year. I would probably lean UCLA here, even on the road, but I'd stay away from it. It's a rivalry. Washington at home against Utah. Washington I can't figure out. Utah's better though. We'll take Utah, but I would not bet that game. Wouldn't lock it by any means. Patriot League's kind of stinky, but we'll look at it. How are we doing here? Lehigh, Holy Cross. Man, this is taking forever. Let's skip some of these conferences. There's so many games tomorrow. SEC. Georgia, Florida. Go Florida. Georgia's better though. South Carolina, here's a lock. They'll beat Missouri handily. There's a lock for you. Auburn, Mississippi State. Mississippi State's pretty good at home. I could see this being upset. I would probably look at the spread for this game. I wouldn't do a money line. If Mississippi State's like positive odds, I'd take that. Tennessee will hammer Vanderbilt, lock. Kentucky will beat Arkansas, even though Arkansas is hosting game day tomorrow. I think Arkansas has given up on the season. Alabama should hammer LSU. That's, I would, a small lock. Texas A&M. Ole Miss is not very good on the road. I'd probably lean A&M there, but those teams are pretty similar. Let's go to another big conference here. Oh, the SoCon's fun. That's one of the better mid-majors tomorrow. Chattanooga will beat Citadel tomorrow. Lock it up. Samford will beat East Tennessee State. Lock it up. Western Carolina will beat VMI by 30. You can lock it up. VMI struggles this year. Wofford, Furman. Coin flip. I'd probably lean Furman though. And UNC Greensboro will hammer Mercer. Lock it up. Those are easy. That's an easy picks tomorrow for that league. Sunbelt, what we got? Isn't there a big game in the Sunbelt tomorrow? I think there is. There it is. One of the biggest games of the day tomorrow. Appalachian State at 16-4, hosting James Madison 18-2. I really like James Madison, but App State at home. This is not a game that I would look to bet. But I tell you what, best game of the day. Maybe lean James Madison here, just because they have to get revenge. They lost them the first time. A little revenge spot for them maybe, but I wouldn't bet that game. And that's probably all I'm going to talk about as far as that conference goes. There's nothing I see that stands out. I'd go Stephen F. Austin at home here. Lean with the dub. Grand Canyon should beat Arlington. Grand Canyon's really good. One of the best mid-majors of the whole nation right now. Abilene Christian at home should beat Southern Utah. Tarleton State. I'd probably lock that up over Utah Tech, but, well, maybe. Small lock. Did we do everything? I think